What's up, everybody? Anton here from Dropship Lifestyle, and I wanted to hop on, make a quick video, and talk about dropshipping success, specifically what it means to me, what it means to our members, which, by the way, you can hear a bunch of their stories at dropshiplifestyle.com/reviews. And more importantly than just talking about that, I want to share an exercise that I use and that I recommend our students use as well to help them set themselves up for success, to know what they really want out of their dropshipping business before they even build it, and for them to know when they have won and when maybe they want to reevaluate their goals. Because like anything in life, it's ever changing and it's only smart to reevaluate every so often, especially when you start to feel too comfortable. I should also let you know that a lot of the concepts we're going to talk about, I got from this book. I don't know if you could see that, but the 4-Hour Workweek, basically the digital nomad Bible. When I was living over in Thailand and Vietnam for 4 years, basically everyone I met was there because their journey started with this book. So if you haven't read it, I would recommend it. Shout out Tim Ferriss. This book changed the way I travel and run my businesses. 4-Hour Workweek, great book. And it'll go into detail with some of the concepts we're about to talk about. With that being said, the exercise I recommend people do is similar to what Tim talks about in that book, which is what he calls dreamlining. Now, the way he defines it is just figuring out what you actually want out of life, adding up all the actual expenses. And what a lot of people realize is that the costs to what they really want is a lot less than they actually think they need. Meaning you might think, okay, to have my ideal life, I need to make $100,000 net profit a month. But then if you actually add everything up, you get real quotes, real prices online, you do the math, maybe you only need $10,000 a month. So the first thing I would recommend you do, and the first thing I do whenever I'm reevaluating business, is think about my ideal lifestyle. And I answer 5 simple questions: the who, the what, the when, the where, and the why. And with this, you might be thinking, Anton, how does this have anything to do with dropshipping? Well, we'll get there. This is more than just dropshipping. This is business in general, but just stick with me. So when it comes to who, what you want to write down here is, who do you actually want to be with? Who do you want to surround yourself with? For me right now, it's my wife, it's my son, and it is my daughter, who is not born yet, but coming soon. So those are the people that I want to be around. Those are the people that I am doing this for, right? My ideal life consists of them with me going through this together. Now, when it comes to the what, this is what do you want out of your life? And because we're talking about this in terms of business, it's what do you want your business to be able to do for you? And this is important because it'll determine what type of business you want to get into and how big you want to grow it. So for me, the what is to live always below my means. So I'm just going to abbreviate some of this for sake of time. So I want to live below my means. So I'm never tight on money. I'm never worried. I'm never losing money. And I want to be able to work from anywhere, anytime with internet. Now we'll get to more of the specifics later, but this is the starting point, right? What do you want to be doing with the people you want to be with? Now, the next is the win. And this is important, whether it's a short-term goal or a long-term goal. You need to really put a date on when you want this thing to happen. That way you can know, again, if you're successful or not. You actually have to put a time frame on it. So let's just say I right now didn't have a business yet, and I was trying to build a business that at this point allowed me to provide for my wife, my son, my daughter who's coming soon, that allowed me to live below my means, but be able to go anywhere at any time and make money with the internet. Well, when do I want this to happen? Again, for me, that's been my life, but let's just say it wasn't yet. Maybe I would say I want that in the next 6 months. So that's when I would want this all available to me. Where? Now for the where, what I like to put here is where I want to be based, where I want to live, and then where I want to travel to. And I typically do this every year with my wife, and we list out all the places we're going for the year. It's funny, we just looked back at 2020s and there was a lot of places crossed out thanks to COVID. But regardless, what you want to put here is where you want to be based and where you want to travel to. And maybe where you want to be is something as simple as near family. And that was for me recently, right? Now that I have children, I want to be around family. Back even 5 years ago, where I wanted to be was in Southeast Asia, where I could, meet different digital nomads, do my thing, travel, explore, which again is why you'll update this from time to time. But what's important is that you know what you want, you know where you want to be, and that way you can set goals around that. If you don't know where you're going, you can't get there, right? You need a map, you need to know when you've reached your destination. So put your where, and again, where you'd want to travel to. So for me this year, I got my fingers crossed, but we have our retreat in Lisbon, the Dropship Lifestyle Retreat in Portugal. So I want to be there. And then I'm also hoping to go to the Christmas markets in Europe this Christmas. The next is the why. And this is most important, I would say, for people that are just getting started, for people that have never built a business before, for people that need to delay gratification and be able to put in the work before they make money, right? Because you don't sign up for Dropship Lifestyle or Shopify or anything, click a few buttons and have money rolling in. You got to do the work. And then the goal is you do the work the right way, you improve every day, and the results come later. So why are you doing this? Well, the why for me, at least this year, is I want to be able to give my family amazing experiences. And I want to have the freedom where if my son is off from school, I can take him to the park. If I want to go play golf, I'll go play golf. If I want to have a team meeting where we launch a new product and we all work together on that, I want to be able to do that. But I want that freedom, whether I'm in North Carolina or Texas or Portugal or in Germany at a market. I want to be able to run this from anywhere so that I control my time. And that is my biggest why. I want to control my time and my freedom. That's actually our mission statement at Dropship Lifestyle. It is to create freedom. And we do that through entrepreneurship. But that is what I want. I want freedom. So what I would recommend you do at this point in this exercise is take out a pen and paper, use your iPad, use a notes app on your phone, whatever. Write down your who, your what, your when, your where, and your why. And then we can move on to the second step of this process, which is the main things that I got from this book, again, the 4-Hour Workweek, that actually puts some real numbers on things. So here I just made a sample list of things you can account for, and this would be things like housing. And again, the goal here is you do this after you know what you want, so you're figuring out the expenses of what it is you want. So again, your housing, whether it's a mortgage you have, or an apartment you want to rent, or an Airbnb you want to stay in for 3 months in Barcelona, figure out the costs, that goes in housing. Utilities, same thing. I own a home, I have utilities, that goes there. Food, what do you spend on food now? What do you want to spend on food? As part of what you want to do, only go to the best restaurants, every night or a few nights a week so you don't gain 500 pounds and be able to just, spend thousands of dollars a month there. Good, put it under food. Entertainment, what do you like to do for fun? Again, we're limited now, but do you want season tickets for your favorite sports team? Whatever it is, that goes there. Travel, same thing, all around the world. Look up flights, look up hotels, look up things to do in the places you're going to, write the actual costs. Transportation, if you own a car or a motorbike, once you get over to Southeast Asia, if that's where you're going, what does that cost? Not much at all. Education, if you're still in school or you're doing continued education. If you have debt, how much debt do you want to pay down every month, every quarter, every year? And savings. This one I think is often overlooked for a lot of people. And I do believe in savings, and I believe in having a lot of savings in cash. So one thing people ask us on sometimes is like, why do you sell stores, right? And I'm not talking about like, we'll build a store for you to get started. I'm talking about like, we'll build a store to millions of dollars and then sell it. So the question sometimes is, why would you sell a store that's extremely profitable? And the answer, again, for me, a lot of the time, at least when we started, we haven't sold in years, but it's savings. It's because originally I noticed that there was risk, right? And I knew that, I'll go back up here, my ideal lifestyle, there could be things that would lead me to not be able to live it anymore. So in the beginning, what I would do is build stores, sell them, and build up my bankroll, my savings. And what I would recommend for you too is figure out how much you want there and do the same thing. Whether it takes you, whatever, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, who cares? Just know what that number is And we'll talk about next setting milestones to get there. That way you'll know, again, what you want and what success looks like for you. So that takes us to the final part of this, again, pretty simple exercise, which is time. So I mentioned earlier, the who, the what, the when, the where, and the why. But what it's also good to think about is, can you chunk this, right? Can you chunk the timeline for your results into different milestones? So based on however much you want to save, have in your bankroll, based on whatever expenses you want covered by your business, you're going to figure out that number. And maybe for you, let's just say hypothetically, that number is $10,000 net profit a month, and you calculated that you'll be spending 6 of it and 4 of it will go straight into savings. So here we would have our 10K, again, net profit a month, and that would include 4K going into savings. Now, when you're putting a timeline on this, again, it'll look different for everybody based on how much time you're putting into your business, based on how much you're going to do with ads, and really based on how fast you can learn. Because with all this, again, at Dropship Lifestyle, I teach you how to do this stuff, but whether you learn in 2 weeks or whether you learn in 2 years is really more of just a person-to-person type thing. So just keep that in mind. And let's just say, though, you said in 12 months, that's when I want to reach this ultimate goal of mine, right? And we'll talk about this again, but remember your first ultimate goal, what you want right now. Now, maybe you want to back that up. Again, that's 12 months from now. And you say, okay, in 6 months from now, I want to be at 5K a month in net profit. And I'm not going to save any money then, because I'm just going to reinvest it into learning, into getting better with ads, and maybe education so people can show me how to do a better job, right? And then maybe you say, okay, so that's 6 months from now. Where do I want to be 3 months from now? 3 months from now, what can I do that would make me feel good, that would make me feel like I won, like I had a success? Now, with this goal, I actually recommend setting it smaller than you might originally think. Reason being is because I want you to hit it. I want you to reach your goals so that you have momentum going into the other ones. So here, maybe you say my 3-month goal is to be at 2K net profit per month. Okay, so then these would be your goals over the next 12 months. Now you know what you want out of your business. And the final question I would ask you is, what is your ultimate goal? This is very important when it comes to the lifestyle of how much time you want to have to commit to your business. So not saying you have to work this amount of time every day. Some days I won't work at all. Some days I'll work 10 hours if I want to. So totally up to you. But maybe you want to get it to a point where your business is automated enough, where you have a team, a virtual team, where you can work 15 to 30 minutes per day on your store, okay? So if that is your goal, put that down too. And when do you want to be there? Because even though that might be your goal, if that's your goal on day 1, then the goals aren't going to get hit up here, okay? This is what you would want to get to down here, but you got to do more than that up front if you want to get results sooner on, right? You want to front load your work, get things built, then you can hire, those people can manage, and then you can be checking in and really be at that ownership level in the business. So looking back at all this, right? We're talking about housing costs, we're talking about travel, we're talking about your ideal lifestyle, but we're not talking about whether a store is a base hit or a grand slam, right? I didn't get into specific numbers of when a store is successful or anything like that. And the reason is, this is most important. This is why I wanted to make this video for you. It's because success looks different to everybody, and there is no fixed answer for when a store is successful or when a dropshipping business is successful. For me, it changes every year based on what I want out of life and what I want out of business. And that's why if you go to dropshiplifestyle.com/reviews, you won't hear people talking about money typically. Their results, their reviews are talking about their lifestyle. Whether they can spend more time with family and friends, whether they can travel more, whether they now live in a new country, whether they can keep their spouse at home. Those are the type of results that a lot of our community is looking for. And it's because I am big on this, knowing what you actually want out of life. And if it was $10,000 a month net profit, with 4,000 of that going into savings, then you'll know when you hit that goal that your dropshipping store is successful, not constantly trying to be bigger and bigger and bigger, not trying to make millions of dollars a year if it takes away from your ideal life. Because at that point, are you successful if you just make more money? Not if you don't have what you want out of your business. So keep that in mind, guys. Again, I hope you got value from this video. If you did, click the like button, click subscribe, hit that little bell, ding ding, and be sure to leave a comment below. And I will talk to you in the next video. See you, everybody.